Hello everyone, it's Angel from GemTCG here, and in today's video I'll be talking about how you can automate your prices on TCGPlayer as well as set minimum or maximum prices. And I think this is the most important thing to know about TCGPlayer because there's simply no way to just manually go through and automate all of your prices or update all of your prices. So being able to automate it and set minimums, so like say you want to sell cards at 25 cents per card and never go below that, or you always want to be selling it at market price or maybe 5% below market price. This tool will help you do that and will have it all streamlined and automated for you. So watch through this entire video so that you can get all the information that you need in order to have this set up for your store. And also there's an update to my Patreon. I added a kind of new feature for the discounted sealed product here, and which is I will be selling single card collections or like ungraded card collections at a discount. So if you're a member of that tier or the one above it, you will be eligible for that. And what that means is you can buy collections from me that have already been looked through and made sure everything's good, and I'll sell it to you so you can sell it for your eBay stores and get some good inventory. But yeah, let's get started on the video. So with TCGPlayer, having a minimum price is pretty important because in my store, I don't even sell anything below 50 cents because it's simply just not worth the time right now. Since I have so much like inventory and then the eBay is getting so much sales, I can't afford to spend time selling cards for below that on TCGPlayer. So to do that, I just set all the prices to 50 cents. And then on top of that, I automated it so that the cards get updated every single day to be market price. And the reason why this is important is because if you have a trainer card that was worth maybe 25 cents and then it got involved in the meta and it became a competitive card, if you have it automated so that it updates every day, it will follow that price and then go up along with it. So then you don't get sold out at 25 cents. You will have the opportunity to sell it at $2, all without you having to put in any extra effort and go through the listings to update them. So this is a big help, especially if you have a big inventory. Like I have 12,000 cards on my TCGPlayer store. So to be manually going through that to update each one is just impossible. Like there's no way to do that. And another thing is this only works for level 4 sellers. So if you're a level 1, 2, or 3 seller, check out my video on how to go from level 1 to level 4 in the quickest way possible. And then once you get to level 4, check back on this video so that you can implement this into your store. So let me show you exactly how to do it on the actual TCGPlayer dashboard. Okay, so first you're going to want to go to the dashboard, and then right where you see pricing right here at the top, just click on that, and then what you'll see here is this mass price button. Now if that doesn't show up for you, that means you're probably not a level 4 seller. So that's why it's important to be a level 4 seller so that the tool is available to you. And then you'll want to click on that button, sign in, or maybe get started if you haven't yet. And then it'll take you to this dashboard. So as you can already see, I have a bunch of rules, or it's like I guess rules or just automations is another way to say it. So like I have something for Vanguard, Yu-Gi-Oh, because these are all I sell a bunch of different things on TCGPlayer. But the most important one is this one, minimum price 50-cent Pokemon. So if you were to just look at it, I'll show you how to actually set it up, but I'll show you what I have currently in this one. It checks any of my inventory that has a price, which means I've sold it before or listed it before. The category would be Pokemon, so all Pokemon cards, and then all of the rarities as well, or at least all of these rarities. And then condition would be near mint only. You could specify more if you want. and then the pricing right here. So it updates the price based on the TCG market price, and it's at 0% modified. So that means like it'll be exactly market price. And the minimum price I would sell cards for is 50 cents. So let's say the market price is like 35 cents. It will have it listed at 50 cents since that's the minimum. And then right here is the schedule. Updates every day at 11 p.m. Last time it ran was March 16th, so yesterday. And then, so that's about it for like how it looks. So if you wanted to create one, just click on this create new rule, and then you click the my selling prices and enter a rule name. You're going to want to be descriptive because if you have a bunch of rules, you're going to want to know like which one is which. I'll just write YouTube here because I'm not actually going to set this. And then for the update products, it doesn't really matter. So I would just stick with any with price. And then you could select the category. So like Pokemon, Magic, whatever. I'll go with Pokemon. The groups is the set. I wouldn't really recommend specifying that because I run them for every card. Rarities, same thing. I wouldn't specify. I would just pick all rarities. But if you want to, you could select certain ones. But actually, there is one that I run for like ultra rares and higher up. So I will show you that next. Printings, pretty basic. You don't need to specify. Condition, same thing. And then languages, English is the only one. And you could select a filter so that, let's say you want to only apply this rule to cards that are $10 and above. You would click greater than 10, So it's pretty simple. And then you go to the next step, the pricing. So this is more important than the first part, and I'll show you why. So let's say you have the base prices on the market price. You could, if you're a newer seller and you just want to get a bunch of sales, you could go base it on the market price, but then modify it to be like 5% less. And the negative percentage means 5% or like less than. So by doing this, your listings will show up higher than other people that are selling it at market price. So that would help you get a lot of sales if you're doing that. And you could also do like a set dollar amount. So you could do like $5 below or $5 above if you want to. I wouldn't recommend doing this because flat dollar amounts can get like pretty inconsistent at times. So unless you have a very specific rule, then definitely don't do that and stick with the percentage part. And then another thing you could focus on is like the median price. So let's say market price isn't as accurate for certain cards. You could look at the median listed price, which is like the middle listed price. And then base it on that. You could base it on the TCG low without shipping, TCG low with shipping, the direct low price, and then an average of market and lowest, or market and median, which is pretty cool. I think this is a new one actually. So what I'd like to do is just go with market price, keep it as is, don't even increase or decrease anything because I don't think it's that important. But if you were to, I would just like make it a small adjustment here or there if you want. Then you go to the next one. This is the minimum price. So like I mentioned earlier, I don't sell anything for below 50 cents. So what I would do is go here, put a fixed amount, and then 0.5. So like that is the minimum price it would sell for or list for. Nothing below that. You could also do similar settings as before. Let's say on your pricing you had TCG market price, and then on the minimum you could do, you don't want to go below the TCG low. So that what that would do is it'll set you at a good price, but then let's say a card is getting bought out and the low goes above the market price, your card will have a higher chance of not getting bought out at the bottom, if that makes sense. Because a lot of times, if you notice on TCGPlayer, when a card is getting bought out, the market price will be, let's say, like $10, but the TCG low would be like 15. And the reason why that is because market price takes some time to update, whereas the TCG low is immediate. Because once a card sells, it's gone from the low. And by having that minimum of being the low price, you're kind of keeping yourself more safe and making sure you're not selling cards for too cheap. And then same thing with the previous one, the modify, you can make it 5% above the low, 5% below the low, so whatever, like anything like that. And this checkbox right here is pretty important too. It says yes, skip updates that would lower my existing price by more than 50%. So let's say you have a card that's worth $10 and then maybe it crashes in price. Like if you look at these illustration rays, it crashes in price. Instead of having your rule update and then it going from like being listed at $20 to being listed at $10, you can have this thing checked, like turned on, so that if that price drops below 50% of what you had it at, it won't update the price. And this will protect you from instances where maybe like people are trying to manipulate the market and the price drops significantly overnight, or in scenarios where there's just simply a crash, like a micro crash or something, and instead of being, dropped so much, you could just not have your card updated at all. Now this can lead to issues because I do have this enabled, and I've noticed sometimes when I'm looking at my inventory, there will be cards listed at like 10 times higher than the market price. And the reason why that happens is because if your card is priced and then it drops more than 50%, it won't update, and then it just won't update again at all from that point forward. So it's a little bit riskier. You might have some stale inventory, so use that one with caution. And then if you don't want to have it at all, just turn it off. And then once you get to this page, it's all set. You need to add a schedule, so click on the add schedule, and then you just do all days, select a time. I like to do it at night instead. I mean it's probably the same, but like 11 p.m. runs every day. And then so it's created. So once you get to this part, I like to manually do it just in case, even though it's already going to run every single day. Once you create it, just click run rule. And I won't do it with this one actually, but I'll do it with the Pokemon one. So, okay. So the minimum price, I don't know why it wasn't showing. Kind of got scared. I thought it got deleted. But then run the rule. And so now it's running. I think it takes like a few minutes. I'm not sure. It might take long because I have a bigger inventory, but just let it run. And then you will notice, like if you check back on your inventory, I'll just look at like my actual inventory right now. Like this, or let's just look at like a random card. So this reset stamp. Market price is 27 cents. But as you can see here, my listed price is 50 cents. So no matter what, my card will not be listed below that. And that's pretty important because like look right here, 11,000 cards listed, and it's literally, it would be impossible to go through each one and then like update them. And then see, yeah, after it finishes, oh no, that just means submitted for processing. But yeah, and then if you want, you can add more rules. Like another one I have is ultra rares I don't sell for below $2.50. And I kind of stopped using that rule, but I have it in place because I used to sell ultra rares on TCGPlayer and I didn't want to sell them for below $2.50 simply because they were more expensive. So I wanted to like lock in my profit or like set a profit margin. And another important thing is that you don't want to have overlapping rules. So if you look back on that, when I was showing you guys the definition for the minimum Pokemon price, there weren't ultra rares included on that rarity part. And the reason I did that is because I had that ultra rare rule. So when I was doing the Pokemon 50-cent rule, it would automatically set a minimum at 50 cents and then go based on market price. But then ultra rare rule was ran before then and set that card to, let's say, 250, but then this minimum rule ran after it. It would take that 250 and then list it at a minimum of 50 cents. So like if you have two rules running for the same type of cards, it will go with whichever one was ran last, and it could lead to a lot of issues if you're like having different logic with the cards. So like in that instance, it was going from a $2.50 minimum to a 50-cent minimum. And I realized that after I got like a ton of sales, which was, I know usually getting a ton of sales is good, but when you get a ton of sales and it's because of a pricing error, it can feel really bad. So you're going to want to make sure that all of your rules are separate, keep the logic separate, and keep the like types of cards and all that separate. I don't think there's a minimum or maximum amount of rules you can make, so don't be worried about that. And it takes only like a few minutes to even make these, so try to be as specific as you can if you want to have it grown, like, you know. And actually, if you look at this one, so like it was ran yesterday, total prices was 5,100. 563 of them were increased, 371 were decreased, and then 4,200 didn't change at all. And so just like think about that. In one day, almost 1,000 items were managed and priced differently based on the market. So this is a very powerful tool, and it will definitely help your TCGPlayer store and business if it's set up correctly. And I hope you guys found this video helpful, and if you need help setting it up more, feel free to join the Patreon and we can hop on a call and I can help you set it up. But yeah, hope you all have a great day.